Welcome to another edition of Just My Opinion podcast. Breaking news, breaking news. This just came down the news wire. Well, actually, it came down yesterday morning. It was exclusively heard on Undisputed. I believe Skip and Shannon talked about it briefly on Undisputed, and they also talked about it midway through the show. But if you've been living under a rock, allow your boy to explain. Fox Sports signed Tom freaking Brady to a tune of a 10-year contract worth $375 million. Once he's done playing football, it might be the end of this football calendar season or maybe next season. Who knows with Tom Brady? Tom Brady has already landed a job outside of football. He's going to be Fox NFL analyst. He'll be hosting a lot uh, of NFL games for Fox on Sundays. And a lot of people are talking about this deal. I've heard a lot of people talking about this deal and talking about the money that Fox gave for Tom Brady. A lot of people are also talking about, is Tom Brady even going to be good analyzing football on Sunday nights, I believe, at Fox Sports, or it may be when Fox Sports do their afternoon games. Who knows? Okay, but a lot of people going like, why did Tom Brady get a deal like that? And I'm about to explain it to you guys. Okay, so let's stick to the basics. I feel like the real reason why Fox Sports signed Tom Brady to this contract is that I'm gonna be honest with you. One, they have to fill the void of losing Troy Aikman to ESPN. Uh, ESPN, Fox Sports thought that they had Troy Aikman already in the bag, and Troy Aikman said, "You know what? I feel like I can go to the worldwide leader of sports over there at on ESPN. Disney got Disney got a ton of money over there. I can resurrect Monday Night Football because Monday Night Football hasn't been the same in a long time. It's been a long time since Monday Night Football was, popular. And now when you hear that ESPN is going to allow Monday Night Football to go back to ABC, I feel like they really cut their viewership in half when they only exclusively had Monday Night Football on ESPN. I feel like it's going to be in more households now since you're going to put it on ABC. And now you land and you steal Troy Aikman away from Fox Sports, and he's going to be hosting and analyzing the games for Monday Night Football, and that's extremely beneficial for ESPN. And I feel like one of the reasons why Fox Sports once signed Tom Brady to do their games is because they have to fill a void because Troy Aikman has left and moved on, and two, they want to get in the bidding, get in the running before anybody else get into this, because this could have been extremely expensive if Tom Brady talked to not only Fox Sports 1 but ESPN. Just those two conglomerates, those two corporations, those two networks. If he just only exclusively talked to both of those networks, this could have been extremely expensive for Fox Sports 1 because Disney would have probably matched that offer and also made that offer better. Remember now, they were when I mean they Fox Sports 1, however y'all want to abbreviate it, and ESPN, they were in a bidding war with Skip Bayless. And ESPN was willing to pay Skip Bayless more than Fox Sports 1, plus allow him to still do his Undisputed show over there at Fox Sports 1, and also sweeten the deal by featuring Skip Bayless on a lot of their presentations. There's the Super Bowl coverage, UFC. They was going to have Skip Bayless host a lot of their prime time events over there at ESPN because they wanted to rejuvenate ESPN Plus by featuring Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith. And Skip Bayless said no, and it wasn't because of the money. It wasn't because of the opportunity. It wasn't because he would have to leave undisputed. It was just simple. It was just simple facts of he wanted to stay on the West Coast. His wife wanted to stay on the West Coast, and that's ultimately why Fox Sports 1 got Skip Bayless back. It has nothing to do with ESPN just didn't want to pay up and do whatever it takes to please Skip Bayless to come back to the worldwide leader of sports. And that could have still plagued, and those parameters could have done the same thing for Tom Brady if Tom Brady wanted to go into a bidding war with Fox Sports 1 and ESPN. Two, I feel like Tom Brady has a great relationship with Fox Sports. They're on speaking terms. I'm pretty sure when they was negotiating this deal, they were he was only communicating with Fox Sports 1. And he has a great, like I said, he has a great relationship over there at Fox Sports 1. Plus, there's a lot of people that work at Fox Sports 1 and Fox Sports that are friends of Tom Brady. One of those friends happened to be Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless, yeah, no matter what you think about Skip Bayless, if you want to call him a super fan for Tom Brady, whatever, but he has the utmost respect for Tom Brady. I'm not saying he's the numero uno reason why Fox Sports started negotiating with Tom Brady, but he did play a factor in Fox Sports 1 and Tom Brady having exclusive conversations with one another. So this wasn't even a bidding war. This didn't even get off the mat as far as other networks bidding for the services of Tom Brady. Three, I feel like, and once again, Tom Brady is going to be it's going to be a fabulous, if you want to call him a sports analyst. I feel like the correct pronunciation for Tom Brady is Tom Brady is going to be covering these games. His insight in football, his football IQ, and his knowledge of football. He's going to make it fully understandable for the novice fan who watches football. Tom Brady name alone is going to get tons of viewers for Fox because you're going to have Tom Brady fans, you're going to have hardcore football fans, and you're going to have novice people who just follow certain games such as the playoffs and the Super Bowl, and they know Tom Brady from other avenues and other walks of life like Facebook and social media and things of that nature. So just having Tom Brady, for Fox to sign Tom Brady to this contract, it 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 opens doors for the possibility of them gradually getting more of a viewership with Tom Brady's fan base, and he's a heavy influencer on and off the field. So those three things alone is worth the value Fox Sports 1 got with Tom Brady. They don't mind paying 370. I think it's $375 million contract. They didn't mind paying that amount because in Fox mind, they're going to make 3 times as much with that contract. In the next 3 years, or in the next 2 years, whenever Tom Brady start hosting games for Fox, we're going to be looking at this contract and we're going to be saying that's chicken feed. This contract is chicken feed. Remember, a lot of people seem to forget when Tony Romo went into the broadcast booth And when Fox signed Tony Romo and they gave him his bread, his contract, a lot of people were saying at that particular time, that's way too much money for a Tony Romo. Now we're looking at that contract going, oh, that's just chicken feed. That's just, that's just a drop in the bucket compared to what Fox Sports and Fox Sports 1 accumulate over a course of every year. When you look at Troy Aikman, when he signed with Fox many moons ago, a lot of people thought that was a lot of money. But on retrospect, when you look at it, that wasn't even a lot of money. It was just at that particular time, a lot of money at that particular time. When after the years went on with Tony Romo working for Fox, now we look at that contract and say, well, that's chicken feed. I mean, that's just easy money. That's just a drop in the bucket. Fox Sports and Fox Sports 1, they make way more money than that. They're way more valuable than that. They're in the billions. A lot of people seem to forget that Fox Sports and Fox Sports 1 are in the billions, all right, value-wise. When you look at ESPN is worth billions, all right? So these $100 million contracts, these $200 million contracts, or $375 million contract when you with Tom Brady, this is just nothing to them. And they're going to make 3, 4, maybe possibly 5 times of the interest, of the value, of the money that they're going to accumulate by just having Tom Brady, or even having Tom Brady name in the universe of Fox Sports and Fox Sports 1. And like I said earlier in this presentation, Fox Sports 1, Fox Sports and Fox Sports 1, they have to fill a void. They lost Troy Aikman to ESPN. ESPN is going to rejuvenate Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football hasn't been the same for a long period of time due to the hosts that they had over the years, due to the fact that they wanted Monday Night Football to exclusively be in the ESPN package, and they moved it away from ABC. Now they're going to bring back Monday Night Football to ABC. It's going to be on their primetime network, and that's going to add more viewership there. It's also going to add more of a fan base there, and just Troy Aikman's name alone is going to bring Monday Night Football back to what it used to be, meaning moons ago. And I feel like Fox has to say, look, we have a void to fill. We lost Troy Aikman. So we're going to have to fill this void. And this not only fills the void, this puts Fox Sports and Fox Sports 1 back in the saddle again by inking Tom Brady. Now, the bigger question is when Tom Brady is going to work for Fox Sports 1. Obviously, it's not going to be this football calendar season. And there's a possibility where Tom Brady will come back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or to another team like the Miami Dolphins next year. Remember now, a lot of people seem to forget when Tom Brady retired from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, there was a rumor floating around that Tom Brady was interested in the Miami Dolphins because of all the signings that the Dolphins was going to make. At that particular time, they haven't even made these deals. But a lot of people were talking about the possibility of the Miami Dolphins being huge winners in free agency, in trades as well. And they need a void at quarterback. The quarterback that they have right now, they're not sure of. And there was rumors that suggest that Tom Brady was going to unretire, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was going to give him that blessing and allow him to unretire and sign with the Miami Dolphins. Now, the reason why that deal fell through and he didn't go to Miami, because Miami at that particular time had a lot of controversy. A former coach of the Miami Dolphins was throwing out a lot of accusations about the Miami Dolphins and what the owner communicated with him as far as, you know, as far as not, shoot, as far as I'm sorry, folks, as far as uh, it's okay to lose a lot of games and things of that nature. And currently that's still in the process stage of. And I believe this coach is going to is going to take the Miami Dolphins to court, and this is going to look real bad for the Miami Dolphins, even if it's true or not true. Still, the stench of this is going to leave a blemish to the Miami Dolphins. All the accusations that this coach has made towards the Miami Dolphins, and now when you look at the Miami Dolphins, they got all these trade. Well, the biggest trade is trading for that receiver from Kansas City. I can't think of his name right now. I do apologize. It is early in the morning. It's 5 something in the morning right here. I do apologize. Tyreek Evans. They got that trade, and they also have been for the past couple of years just adding weapons to the offensive side. So this is make it or break it for uh, for what they already have on the roster, quarterback wise. But to me, it would not surprise me. Well, Tom Brady's already out of the running as far as him being the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. He unretired, and he's going to be the quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But it would not surprise me on Miami's part if somehow, some way, they work out some type of trade scenario for Baker Mayfield. The only sticking point with that is Cleveland Brown going to pay half of his salary, or the Miami Dolphins could be like everyone else, including the Seattle Seahawks, just wait for the Miami Dolphins for the Cleveland Browns to release Baker Mayfield. But at this particular time, the Cleveland Browns, desperately seeking Susan, need Baker Mayfield because they're not even sure of the quarterback they just signed this offseason, Deshaun Watson. Is he going to be able to play this calendar football season? Remember, uh, there have been numerous reports that he's definitely going to get suspended, but no one knows how long the suspension is going to be. Is it going to be 6? Is it going to be 6 weeks? Is it going to be a year? Is it going to be 2 years? No one really knows Deshaun Watson angle as far as punishment that the NFL is going to levy against him. Plus, he's got like over 20 accusers accusing him of on some freaky stuff. Okay, sexual harassment. All right, so we don't even know what's going on in that angle, and I feel like that they're holding Baker Mayfield because they're not sure whether or not they're going to have Deshaun Watson for this year. They know for a fact they got one more year with Baker Mayfield. And I feel like they're looking at it as, you know what, we better hold up. We may need Baker Mayfield to be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns for at least 6 weeks, possibly, or rotate him in the system, make him fight for um, being the starter for the Cleveland Browns. Let him fight for it with the other quarterbacks that they already have on their roster. But we don't even know that angle. And I hate to veer into Cleveland talk and Baker Mayfield talk, but I feel like all of this talk is in conjunction with one another. I feel like if all this talk was in conjunction with one another. Tom Brady retiring. You heard rumors and reports that he was thinking about unretiring before he unretired, and he wanted to go to another destination, another team. And the rumor was he wanted to go to the Miami Dolphins, but the Miami Dolphins find themselves in a very sticky situation from their ex-head coach making accusations about the Cleveland Browns and the Cleveland Browns organization in conjunction the Cleveland Brown owner. So you got that sort of being a rollback, a roadblock. Did I say roadblock? Roadblock for Tom Brady, and Tom Brady unretired and went back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I feel like with this deal, him negotiating this deal, I feel like this was already in the cards for Tom Brady. In a perfect world for Tom Brady, he would have loved to go to Miami, win a Super Bowl with the Miami Dolphins. You know, Miami Dolphins hasn't won a Super Bowl in many moons. Then retire, retire with the Miami Dolphins and start working for Fox Sports and Fox Sports One, being a football analyst, a football host, a football influencer, whatever name you want to title Tom Brady, and just ride off into the sunset into his new life. But he already signed this 10-year deal, and Fox Sports and Fox Sports One don't mind waiting for him. And I really do feel like this is going to be, as of right now, if the stars align and if the sun and the moon align differently, but as of right now, this is going to be the official last year for Tom Brady. He's going to have a documentary. He's going to have a film team filming him his last year, similar to The Last Dance with Michael Jordan. Would love to put the cherry on top if he can get the Tampa Bay Buccaneers not only in the playoffs, but in the Super Bowl. That would be really special. He's going to have a film crew. He's going to document everything from start to finish in this football career. I feel like this is going to be his last official year as a football player, and he's going to just go off into the sunset and do Fox Sports One. He's going to be magnificent on TV. And going back to what people felt about this deal, Rob Parker is lukewarm on this deal, but and he feels like that's just too much money. And I look at it as, look, that's the cost of exclusively inking a deal with an individual when you don't have other outside people bidding along with you. I feel like this deal could have been way more than what it actually amounted to, because ESPN would not only match that deal, but sweeten that deal and even make that deal better. So that's what happens when you exclusively try to ink a deal with an individual. You get these type of amounts. Sometimes it will be very beneficial when you allow other corporations as far as negotiating. And if Tom Brady didn't win all those Super Bowls and things of that nature, if his name and his brand wasn't where it is today, you probably could have negotiated a less expensive deal. But when you got the resume of Tom Brady, when you got the popularity of Tom Brady, you're going to have to pay a little bit more. And Fox Sports and Fox Sports One, they were willing to pay a little bit more. And that's what happens when you exclusively try to ink a deal with an individual. You get an enormous amount like this. But they was talking about Jim Rome's deal with CBS. Jim Rome still owns the IP of the Jim Rome show. He has ownership in the Jim Rome show. CBS don't fully own that show. And they're talking about how much money Jim Rome makes in a year. Like, look, Jim Rome exclusive. He did the same tactic as Tom Brady. Jim Rome was on Fox, Jim Rome was on ESPN, and now he's with CBS. So Jim Rome, exclusively tried to negotiate a deal with CBS, as caught CBS at the right time and at the right opportunity. CBS was trying to keep up with the Kardashians. trying to keep up with the other two big networks such as ESPN and Fox. And they just couldn't allow Jim Rome to go back to any of those networks because that's going to really put them further behind. So they was kind of stuck in the eight ball and gave Jim Rome that type of money. And Fox is looking at it. Look, we don't want to be further back or further away from ESPN when in recent years a lot of people thought that Fox Sports or Fox Sports One, however you want to abbreviate it, was going to take the top spot from ESPN. And I've told a lot of people 100 times on a multitude of videos, on a multitude of live streams, it's hard to dethrone ESPN when ESPN is in more households, in more television markets than Fox Sports or Fox Sports One, or you can combine the two. As of right now, they still, even with the recent signings that they have done in the past 5 to 7 years, they still haven't scratched the surface as far as dethroning and overtaking ESPN. Now, individually, they have a lot of great shows, better shows than ESPN. Undisputed gave First Take a run for their money. Okay, and look how long that lasted until ESPN got back into the driver until First Take got back into the driver's seat, because it's easier to get back into the driver's seat when you're in more households and in more television markets than Fox Sports. All right, a lot of people seem to forget what Fox Sports looked like before they signed Colin Cowherd, Skip Bayless, Rob Parker. Poaching, stealing, well, taking all the talent from ESPN, overpaying that talent and putting them on Fox Sports One. People seem to forget what Fox Sports One looked like before they did this before they were sellers in the market. Fox Sports was once, before all of these shows, the Undisputed, the Speaks for Yourself, the Herd Show, all of these shows, the multitude of shows that they have now, it was once a fishing. They had fishing, rodeo, on the weekend they will have college football in divisions that are not popular, of teams that are not popular. They will have all hula hoop events. They will have all of these type of ridiculous presentations just to fill the time slots. Now, when you look at Fox Sports One, they they have a lot of good shows. I feel like they have one great show, which is Undisputed. uh the Herd Show, it's okay. It's not for everybody. And when you look at Speak for Yourself and all the other shows, they're niche. They're average at best or below average. um but yeah, if you look at uh where Fox Sports were when they got when they lost Troy Aikman to ESPN, and when you look at them now with them inking a deal to have Tom Brady host their NFL games, they're in a better spot than they were a month ago or 2 months ago when they lost Troy Aikman, on the verge of losing Troy Aikman. All right, so I, I think that to me they did the right thing. If you want to say that this deal is too expensive, I would. If you want to say I don't think Tom Brady's worth that type of money, okay, then let him go on to the market and allow other networks to bid to have the services of Tom Brady on their networks. CBS would love to get in that type of bidding war, and they would have had no problem accumulating $375 million over a course of 10 years. Definitely not ESPN. And knowing ESPN, they would have made it a shorter deal. 5 years, $375 million, no problem. NBC would would pinch pennies, would get money under the mattress and out of their aluminum can, and they would have managed to find $375 million. You know, it's a lot of money to me and you. It's a lot of money to a lot of other corporations, but these massive networks, they're just a drop in the bucket because a lot of these networks I just mentioned are worth billions. Okay. So $375 million, and you stretch that out of into 10 years, is not really a lot of money to these networks. All right. So, yeah, it's a lot of money to me and you. Okay. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot of money to ESPN. It's not a lot of money to Fox Sports One. It's not a lot of money to CBS. It's not a lot of money to NBC. Okay, so on and so forth. Hell, it's not even a lot of money for CNN. It's not a lot of money for Fox News. We report, you decide. Okay, it's not a lot of money for TNT Sports. Okay, even though it's the wrong, TNT doesn't do football, but if every network was allowed to negotiate for the services of Tom Brady, a lot of the majority of those, and I say about 90% of those networks wouldn't have a problem of giving Tom Brady $375 million. Okay, yes, it's a lot of money to me and you, but in the grand scheme of things, it's really not a lot of money to them. And I guarantee you, in the next 2 to 3 years, another big name analyst, probably from another network, is going to even accumulate even more money than Tom Brady and then this deal. And then we're going to be looking at this like, oh man, that was nothing. $375 million. They should have no problem. Now, the type of person that can accumulate even more money than this, okay, let's just look. Okay, I feel like Joe Rogan, if he wants to go into sports, if he wants to do, focus on a network, he can get this type of deal. He already has this deal with Spotify. Okay. Uh, Howard Stern can command can accumulate this type of money. Hell, even Michael Jordan. If Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan, first of all, Michael Jordan makes way more money than this. Okay. But if Michael Jordan wants to be on a network, hell, Michael Jordan can own possibly CBS or NBC, but that's neither here nor there. He can command a market like this. So yeah, there are a few of people that can command this type of money. Okay, I don't think everybody can get this money. I don't think everybody can get this bag. But yeah, that's so that's all I got for today. In other news, if y'all want to, in other news, I'm gonna do a quick rundown. Um, the Miami Heat beat the Philadelphia 76ers. No surprise there. I feel like that series is pretty much over. Now after that series, it's not if the 76ers are going to lose this series, is when they're going to lose this series. And the fallout from losing this series, I feel like they're taking a huge step backwards, in my opinion. And it started ever since they traded Ben Simmons. They traded Ben Simmons for a bag of beans in James Harden. James Harden is not the same James Harden that you saw and grew accustomed to when he was doing those phenomenal things with the Houston Rockets. James Harden hasn't been that James Harden. Even when he was with Brooklyn, he was never that James Harden. All right. And I feel like at the end of the day, I was leaning towards Brooklyn winning that trade. But at that time, I thought we was going to see Ben Simmons this year. And, due to his back surgery and he's still fighting the mental health perspective, I'm not even sure Brooklyn won that deal. I hate to say it, but and I'm big on when teams do trades. It's it's either one of them won or both of them won, but it's never the fact of both teams lost in that trade. And I never had a position on that. I felt like either one of those teams won in the trade or both of them won for different reasons. But I've never took the custom of both teams losing. And that scenario could possibly happen with Brooklyn and the 76ers. Brooklyn can win, can lose, but for different reasons. And the 76ers, I feel like already lost. Okay. And my mind hasn't changed since then. Okay. So this offseason, it's going to be a lot of changes with the Philadelphia 76ers. I feel like this is going to be Doc Rivers' last rodeo with the Philadelphia 76ers. They're going to have a coach in there, and they feel like they can rejuvenate James Harden back to the old James Harden with the Houston Rockets. Mike No D D'Antoni will possibly be the next successor for the Philadelphia 76ers as far as coaching. And when that happens, Mike D'Antoni's style and system does not fit well with Joel Embiid. And from that moment on, Joel Embiid is going to be extremely unhappy next season if they sign Mike No D D'Antoni as far as head coach for the Philadelphia 76ers, because it's going to be very beneficial for James Harden. They're going to give James Harden the max contract, but if you've been looking at his performance, he really doesn't deserve that type of money. But once again, it's what you command on the open market. All right. So, I think it's going to be a lot of, I think if you're a Philadelphia 76er fan, just be happy that you went to the playoffs this year. I feel like they're going to be in the playoffs next year, but I don't see them even making it to the Eastern Conference Finals. All right. Much less the finals. So that I feel like it's a foregone conclusion with the Phoenix Suns and the Dallas Mavericks. The Phoenix, everybody, like I told you guys in the last live stream, the Phoenix Suns are a better team than the Dallas Mavericks. The possibility and the games that they've been winning, a lot of those players of the Phoenix Suns who are accustomed to scoring, they wasn't. It was pretty much Devin Booker and Chris Paul. All right. Now they got the others contributing to the scoring. And I kind of felt like, in the last live stream before this game even started, I told you guys, I felt like the others of the Phoenix Suns are going to be shining in this game alongside Chris Paul and Devin Booker. And if you look at the Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic and the others, they're fine, but the Luka Doncic and the others for the Dallas Mavericks are streaky at best. They go hot and cold like instantly. But I feel like it's a foregone conclusion that the Phoenix Suns are going to win that series as well. It's not if they're going to win it, it's when they're going to win it, in my humble opinion about it. So, yeah, that's all I got for today. Guys, tell me what you think. I got to charge this phone up. I will see you guys on the flip side. Hope everyone has a very productive Wednesday, hump day. I almost forgot what today was. Rate, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys on the next one. Please be sure to hit the notification bell, and we'll get back on it next Thursday, I believe, which is tomorrow. All right, deuces.